This is a short bite episode of Homeschool Together. Hello and welcome to Homeschool Together. Thanks so much for joining us. Short bite edition. We're going to be talking about the roller coaster challenge from ThinkFun.
Yes,
and
this is one of those.
We've talked about the previous ones that are like this, like these the challenge building challenge games.
Yeah, so these are those solo games where there's going to be challenge
the laser
cards
one,
and
the marble one. That
yep,
we've
we
talked
have
about.
gravity maze and laser maze. We've already talked about on the podcast, and this roller coaster challenge is in the same vein. You've got a grid there, and it's like I want to say it's a 6x6 grid. I think that's right. And there's a challenge cards. There's 40 different challenge cards. So it goes from beginner all the way through intermediate, advanced, expert. And so there'll be 10 in each category. And on one side, it gives you the initial setup for the board. Like, okay, you're going to have
starting
four
piece,
high pillars with a starting track piece of your roller coaster. Yeah. And then you have 3 over here with the ending piece. And you need to add to it 2 tracks of this dimension and size, but it doesn't tell you where to put those. So you kind of get an initial setup with like pieces of the roller coaster, and then you've got to fill in the missing blanks to get the marble coaster to go from the start to the end position.
Now, people are probably wondering, I know with the laser maze, and then the marble gravity maze one, it's very specific in the sense that you have to do the exact pieces. Is this one a little bit more forgiving, that you have a little bit more creativity in getting from A to B?
No. So it does tell you, like, it'll do an initial setup, and it will tell you to this initial setup, you need to add a 2-length yellow piece and a 3-length green piece. And so those are the ones you have to add to complete the puzzle. So it gives you that information. You could make it more challenging by having to pick your own pieces, but it gives you the ones that you need to include. The nice thing about this game, Gravity Maze is the same, Laser Maze is the same, is that you have all the components. So your kids can go through and do the challenge cards, but you could also just go open-ended and build a super cool roller coaster. Yeah. There's like tunnel pieces, and there's
it is a roller
loop-de-loop.
coaster. You get a little kind of cart piece that kind of has a marble beneath it.
Right. Yeah. So there's like a giant loop-de-loop piece, and you can go under tunnels, and there's a couple pieces that go back up, and so you could do some really cool things. There's these little pillar pieces that stack up so that you can put the track higher. It's a cool connection system between them as well. So I love these kind of solo challenge games because our daughter can really sit and noodle on okay, I've got to add these 2 pieces.
And
she does a lot of trial and error.
The solution is on the back, so if you do get stuck, you're not stuck forever.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you are working with your student, you can maybe even give little hints along the way.
So this is ages 6 and up. Our daughter is 6, and she was able to do all 10 of the beginners with minimal help. There was a couple of times where she got stuck a little bit, and I had to kind of help get her unstuck, but that was within just a few minutes of getting it. So she played with it for, she's played with it for a couple of hours now, and each time she sits down and she works a number of cards. And, I love these trial and error things because, as engineers, this is like one of the cornerstones, that you have a theory about how this is going to work, and then you're going to try it and see if it works. And
it's that problem solving, like, I have the endpoints, I'm trying to root cause where the problem is, or I'm trying to figure out how I can get from A to B. Very rarely in the engineering space do we like fundamentally build something new. We're always like building on top of something.
That's right.
And then when we get that thing doesn't work, and we need to figure out why it's not working. And that's
so we go back down to base.
We go back down the base and work our way back
that's
up.
Right. And you're trying a lot of things. What I like about this is they have segments of the track that are that are 2 spaces of those, there's 6 spaces of little connection points on the grid 6x6. So you have ones that are 2 and 3 and 4, but the angle of them is different. So like the green track only goes down 1 level along when you put it in place, whereas the blue goes down 2 levels and the red goes down 3 levels. And so you're really thinking about like, how far do I want to drop the track so I can keep the marble going?
It's 3D. There's that third dimension that can kind of add a little bit more complexity and a little bit. You're spatially understanding the board. Yeah,
I think that this is really great if you have Gravity Maze and like it. This is just perfect. Our daughter loves Gravity Maze and loves this one. I love the solo nature. This is perfect to give your kids when you need them to do something independent for a little bit. It's a good challenge. It's also really fun if you just want to build stuff. She'll do the challenge cards for about half the time, and then she'll just start building crazy roller coasters.
And it's a good springboard into Roller Coaster Tycoon when she's got to figure out how to feed all her people.
Yeah, I remember playing that game, and I think it was mostly about like how to get people in and out of the bathroom in the concession stands. I don't remember a lot of roller coaster building, but that was a long time ago.
Well, they talked to roller coaster people, and they said that's the hardest thing to do is get people in the bathroom, out of the bathroom, get them fed, keep them in the park.
I remember there being like lots of trash and having to like put trash cans often enough because they were littering in my park. It was many years ago, over a decade.
None of those elements in this game.
No, none of those in this game. This is pure building. If you have kids that are into STEM, you'll really love Roller Coaster Challenge. We just got it, and we already love it. So there's a link down in the show notes if you want to check it out. But we highly recommend it from ThinkFun. Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
happy homeschooling!